What is up, YouTube? This is Michael from Team Dreadnought. I'm bringing you a V Premium Jewel Knight profile. I didn't originally have any intention, put it away, Dark One, or intention to do this profile, but it was requested on the channel, so I'll go ahead and do it early. Quick shield. The starter is just your normal V starter. There's nothing else to play in V, but Millions comes SP, and there's no Jewel Knight starter, so go ahead. For triggers, you can play just a crit. You could play 12 and play Sentinel crits as well, but I mostly prefer the 8 crit as the Sentinel crits or whatever, and you do want draw triggers to find Jewel Knights for Salome to call, as there's not as many as there's in Premium, but... And then 4 draw PGs, just draw PGs. Again, Sentinel crits are an option, but I prefer the draws. And then the 4 Heal Guardians, you could play a 2-2 split. I wouldn't mind that if you did, but I think I like the 4 Heal Guardians because once you get to grade 3, your deck is pretty powerful, so... But you could go a 2-2 split, only because the shield is kind of annoying sometimes. For grade 1s, obviously you're playing Jewel Knights, so you'll run your 4 Jewel Knight grade 1 originally. The card I foresee coming out in the future if they get more Jewel Knights, but for now it's still the 4 of. When someone's playing the same center unit, draw, and then counterblast 1, shove a normal unit to the bottom, soul charge +5 something. Not once per turn, so if you need to get a bunch of soul, you can probably do that. Not a terrible card. Good. The infinitely better grade 1 Jewel Knight. The new one is at the end of the battle that it boosted, you can put a normal unit from your drop zone to the bottom of the deck to soul charge and add this back to hand. So this is just really good. It's a lot better than Premium because you're getting off Sword Me, so you're basically +1 to hand as well as a booster for that attack. Its second effect is when a card is played in its circle, you can kill an opponent's rear on the same column. If you cannot kill one, you draw one. But the kill one is mandatory, so you can't choose not to kill just to draw, so you must kill if there is one there. Still a really good card. For grade 3 searchers, you need to find Salome, and Ashley's are good on Vanguard. Other than that, it's just a grade 3 searcher. If you have no face-up damage, it's a 13k. Early games, 13k. You need to find grade 3s. You got this if you want. I'm trying out one Knight of Going Alone Herald. When your grade 2 is placed, other than from your hand, you can put this in soul and give that unit +15. So like after the Ashley calls something, you can beat past defensive very well. And it's a solid 1-of to get a soul since you do need 4 for Salome and 2 for Ashley. So I like it as a 1-of. A lot of people I see were playtesting the when you ride a grade 3, shove in soul draw, call 1. I don't like that very much because it doesn't do as much unless you're riding. This gives power to beat past defensives, and it's something you can put in soul when you desire. Not only when you ride a grade 3. So for grade 2s, we're going to go ahead and go over the 4 Explode Jewel Knight Lael. Her effect is when she attacks, you put 2 normal units to the bottom of your deck to soul charge 1 and gain +5. It's very good because you're allowed to get soul for Salome and Ashley, and soul is a very important resource. Plus, you're putting 2 normal units back and only soul charging 1, so you can stop yourself from decking out a bit. When your unit's placed on this unit circle, +10. So you can give something you're calling over +10, so if Ashley's on Vanguard and you need to call 2, you give them both +10. It's very good because when you call with Salome, you can then give it +10 and hit past defensives because your opponent's probably going to hit defensive somewhere along your turn. For the Jewel Knight grade 2 that just came out, Sybil, which came out in the 2 weeks in the Clan Collection. When it attacks, you can put a grade 2 or less card from your hand into your soul to draw 1, so you can get a hand filter and just fill up the soul for your card. You have a lot of soul loss costs. Her other effect, though, is fantastic. When your Jewel Knight is placed on top of it, you can look at top 3 to look... It's actually not Jewel Knight. Anything is placed on top of it. You can look at top 3 to grab a Jewel Knight and call it to rear that's grade 2 or less. So when you're doing the Salome, you can then call over this to get another attacker or get another booster, which could be the grade 1 that can bounce back to your hand. This card is so fantastic for the deck. I love it a lot. Then you got 2 Libro. You can play more of it. I don't like Libro as much in this build because you have the counterboss form and that's your soul bossing form, but then it's both resources you don't want to give up for them. But it can give you a Sybil, which isn't bad for your combo turns, and it can give you a unit on board for 1 card to play for Salome, saving your hand. I like to Rabble. Comes foil in Clan Collection. Pick them up. Real cool looking. Front row, all your back row rear guards cannot be retired by your opponent's card effects. Really solid. So anything that tries to retire the back row has to retire this first, so if they're wasting retire on this. And when it's played, you can counterblast 1, send a not grade 2 or less from your field to the bottom of the deck, draw 2, and then call a card from your hand. So it allows you to kind of keep cards coming, and just a very solid card. I like it a lot. I could see you trying to cut maybe 1 for a die connect for more solo by person, like the 2 Ravel 1 and testing. Then for Ashley, this card is going to be the heart and soul of Royal Paladin for the time being and for the foreseeable future. Pick up a playset. I don't care how much they are. You have to have this to play Royal Paladin, in my opinion, for most of your builds. Altmile likes it. Everything likes it. Somehow you don't know its effect. It's at the end of battle attacks. Soul Blast 2. Call a grade 2 or less Jewel Knight. And then if it's on Vanguard, call 2. And then its other effect is when something's played on its zone, you can counterblast 1 to give it a crit. It's whatever, I guess. The second effect is whatever. It's not as relevant anymore, but its first effect to get multi-attack is so good in V. It allows you to be on a force 1 and keep giving you multi-attack, plus if you call it off Salome, that's more attacks to keep chaining. Salome is so much better in Premium, but I think it's good enough in V. I still think it's the best Royal Paladin deck in V, even after this set. It's, at the end of the battle that attacked, you can counterblast 1, choose any amount of cards in your hand with Jewel in their name, as many as you have occupied rear guards, and then call them to those occupied rear guards. If you call 3 or more, Soul Blast 4, stand this unit. So the reason why I say it's so much better in Premium is because you'll be on Crystal Luster off with this, and you'll get the 4 checks, while in V you're only getting 2 unless you ride it over itself, which then gives you finally 3 to actually pay for its cost. Really solid, because when you call over the Jewel Knight grade 1s, you will be drawing cards. Soul Blast 4 is also a bit heavier in V because you can't use Sword Me to find your grade 1s that constantly loop the Soul Charge back to your hand. And second effect is when something's placed in its circle, you can counterblast 1, give it 15k in a drive, or is it 10k in a drive? 10k in a drive. It's very solid. You can actually do a fun little build with this, and if you wanted to play Gancelot still, you can call the Blade over it, give it a drive check, then Blade becomes a Vanguard. You can drive Blades on Nurgle. I don't think it's worth it for that. I mean, hey, if you still like Gancelot, I have placed at XQ, so I'm going to do it for the channel. But this has been V Jewel Knights. It's a deck that I think is really solid for V. If you have locals for V, definitely build it. It's so easy to transition in Premium minus the price of Sword Me's. So it's kind of good either way. It's one of my personal favorite decks from the format in both of them. But so the one guy that did want the V deck, here you go. Should have some matches with it soon. If not, we will have them in a couple weeks to come when the Clan Collection actually does come out. But remember to like, comment, subscribe for more videos. Thank you.